LiberalViewer presents.
So when Fox News anchor and attorney Jamie Colby introduced a story this week about the Illinois law making it a felony to audio record the police in public, the story not only stressed the arguments in favor of the law from the police, but the story left out any mention of the basic First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place, and the beginning of the story even seemed calculated to discourage viewers from recording the police altogether, as you can see here.
All right, well, in Illinois, can you imagine using your cell phone to record the police? Could send you to prison, that alone.
Now, that scary but true introduction is fine by itself, but when the Fox News anchor brought on Fox News reporter Mike Tobin to talk about issues with the law, instead of ever mentioning the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place as an issue, the first issue he found with the law was actually the problem of the police having to arrest too many people, as you can see in this clip.
They do have the law in Chicago, and there are a lot of issues with it. Start with the fact that just about everyone has a smartphone with some kind of recording device in it. Now look forward to May, when Chicago is going to be hosting the NATO summit. That event is expected to bring throngs and throngs of protesters, most of them armed with some kind of recording device that will record both audio and video. And as the arrest starts happening, if police are required to arrest everyone who records them without consent, the whole thing could spin out of control.
That's right. The real problem with the law putting people in prison for recording cops in public is that we just may run out of prison space. But even when supposedly straight news reporter Mike Tobin got to the legal issues with the law, he only reported on a challenge to the law on the grounds that it's overbroad, again, without ever mentioning the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place, as you can see in this clip.
A circuit court judge here in Chicago just shot down the law, saying that it's overbroad. He said that a mother could be recording a soccer game, inadvertently record the police, and be charged with a felony.
Now, it is true that a trial-level judge in Chicago recently ruled that the Illinois law against audio recording the police is overbroad, and the judge even made that argument about a mom recording a soccer game and inadvertently recording the police, but what's also true that Fox News never mentioned is that there's another lawsuit in federal court in which the ACLU of Illinois is suing Chicago District Attorney Anita Alvarez to stop enforcement of this law because of the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place, and that several other federal courts have already found prosecutions under similar laws invalid, including the Federal First Circuit Court of Appeals ruling just last August that, quote, a citizen's right to film government officials, including law enforcement officers, in the discharge of their duties in a public space is a basic, vital, and well-established liberty safeguarded by the First Amendment, unquote. But, of course, the Fox News story never mentioned that First Amendment right to record the police, even when returning to Fox News anchor and attorney Jamie Colby, whose only mention of a right to record came, again, in reference to that mom's right to record a soccer game while inadvertently recording the police, rather than the actual right to intentionally record the police, as you can see here.
You know, I could understand the dilemma of protecting the officers versus your right to record. That mom example is unbelievable. Do you expect more states will either look at it or work to repeal it in the few that they have it now?
Now, I don't know why Fox News broadcast this whole story without ever mentioning the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place, especially given that as part of the press, Fox News relies on that exact same First Amendment protection for its business, but it may be because of Fox News' long history of making excuses for police misconduct that I most recently featured last year in my videos about the UC Davis pepper spray incident that included Bill O'Reilly, Fox News' highest-rated commentator, saying this.
I don't think we have the right to Monday morning quarterback the police.
And if Fox News is looking at the police from that perspective, it may explain the broadcast of that entire story about the Illinois law without ever mentioning the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place that instead left viewers stressing the arguments from the police in the end of the story here.
The police are still going to support this particular law. We've got a statement from the Fraternal Order of Police saying if this law is repealed, there will be a chilling effect on witnesses coming forward. There will be victims who are re-victimized, meaning recordings of them could be uploaded to the internet. They're also concerned that a cell phone could be mistaken for a gun, Jamie.
Yeah, you know, as an attorney, I'm torn. Thanks, Mike, for bringing it to us.
Now, as an attorney, she should be torn, but between the interest interests of the police and the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place, and I don't think Fox News' failure to mention that First Amendment interest anywhere in the story is anything but bias, but I want to know what you think. Why did Fox News never mention the important First Amendment interest in monitoring government employees conducting official business in a public place anywhere in that story? And on the bigger question, in a free society, shouldn't citizens have the right to monitor government employees conducting official business in a public place?
I YouTube, you decide.